Um, we're really passionate about this work. I love seeing what happens to people once they go through this transformative process. And it's very much a
Hmm.
people-centric process. I'm in, like there's a lot of talk about AI and all that, and I do a lot of AI stuff and all, but I'm into people. I think that
Yeah.
that part of us can't never leave. We just can't.
Hmm.
And so when I think of self-care, one thing I want to start off by saying to you is one of our missions is to make self-care equally as important as customer care.
Hmm.
you know and so I think that's important because a lot of times we say customers this and customer that and customer centricity, but what about the people that have to connect with the customers? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We need them help. And so again, I don't want, I'm just going to show this to you. Again, it's not trying to sell or anything, I'm just trying to show it
Yeah.
to you, and if it makes sense then maybe we can continue the conversation. That's all I
Okay.
would have to do.
Yeah.
So um and excuse, this is this guy, this book. I got to get a new a picture because that's about 10 years ago. And somebody said, you don't look like that guy on that book. I said, hey, well, what do you mean? I said, don't talk about me like that. So anyway, I'm the author of the self-care movement, and the self-care movement to me is more than an ideology. It is a strategic initiative. I think
Hmm.
when you look at the stress levels in our country, the Society for Human Resource Management stated that anxiety is the number one mental health challenge in the workplace. You know,
Yeah.
in the United States right now, we have a 20% clinically diagnosed depression rate. And
Hmm.
amongst the millennials, it's 35. And so,
Hmm.
and then the pandemic did a lot. It impacted
Yeah.
people. My children were in school. They had my son start finishing college. He had to do it virtual. My daughter was starting college. She had to do it virtual. So there's just a lot that people are. When you look at this time we're in, it's a little different than several years ago. So
Yeah.
I started doing this by actually having conversations with my customers and companies because we do building cultures and all that too. And it made me realize after all these conversations, we need to do something about this. So, we have this little basic statement that is healthy people build healthy cultures. That's
Hmm.
it. So, there's a lot of when it comes. Why is it? Because there's a lot. The human cost, the business cost, the real gap. All right. Many organizations provide resources. Very few help people build the habits that make them actually use them. I'm not saying your company does. I'm just saying that I've seen a lot of wellness programs,
Yeah.
and so it's kind of left in the hands of the individual, and I get that. That's important. But when you have a system that they buy into, then it's like we're doing this collectively together. You know what I mean? We're
Yeah.
trying to make this happen together. So our goal is simple: move people from awareness of ownership, from awareness to ownership of their well-being. Like me, I'm 95 years old and I still go to the gym every day. It's amazing, isn't it? Now, you really don't think I'm 95.
No, I was gonna say.
You're like, wait a minute, come on,
I was
coach.
like, hold on.
No, 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 I'm not 95. I'm not young, but I'm not 95. But I have ownership. I have ownership of
Yeah.
my emotional well-being. I have emotional of my physical well-being, my family, all those things, because I realize how important it is to my overall personal wellness, but then the wellness of those I'm around. So our
Yeah.
framework, isn't really an event; it's a lifestyle. Then we have what's called the 3 A's. All right. We start with awareness because when you talk to people about self care, the first thing they say is they don't have time for it, or you hear that old saying, self
Hmm.
care is selfish. And so this is what I want you to see, Megan. And I'm not going to take much longer with this. Um, Wellness to me is a byproduct. It's kind of what we want. The pathway to get there is self care. When you think about it. So this ultimate goal over here is we want people to be well, but it's the things that the people do that get them. And so awareness is one of the keys because if you're not aware, you ain't gonna do anything about it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then from there we talk about action. That's turning knowledge into consistent, sustainable daily habits. All right,
Hmm.
things that we can do, and we're not talking about a million things. Just a few things. All right, I believe in the slow pace with this. A lot of people say this and they thrust a lot of stuff on people. No, let's look at one thing at a time and just see if we can build that.
Yeah.
And then lastly, accountability, which is the big part. One thing I'll say, we do this thing called self-care pods. I love them because you actually
Hmm.
have people getting together in small groups of 3 or 4 people that holding each other accountable within their
Hmm.
organizations. Not
Yeah.
outside, within. So now, you're building systems and all of that. So this is how culture changes, not through an event, which we can do events too. We do speaking and training, but through a
Okay.
connected, ongoing framework, you know. And so awareness is important. And again, I'm not going to go through all of this because we ain't have the time. But it's not just physical. His relationships, his boundaries, his personal growth, recovery, financial, all these things make up where we are as far as the need for wellness. So we look at
Hmm.
all these things. We look at physical, mental, emotional,
Yeah.
family, personal, because we understand that people typically will just say self-care is like eating yogurt, and,
Yeah.
and jogging 10 miles. And I'm like, no, it's
Yeah.
it's way more than that. Like this weekend, my son said he wanted to pay for us to go to the beach. I said, you want to pay for us? Yes, I'm going. If you're paying, I'm going because that's
Yeah.
the first. That's the first. So, but we're gonna just go walk, have some fun on the beach and things like that. Me and my wife
Yeah.
and son and my daughter. So awareness. And so that's the first part. The second part is action. You know what I mean? And we do have a strategy around action where we get people to really do daily motivation, weekly challenges, maybe some micro learning, and then positive
Hmm.
reinforcement. We have a platform for that. But people, once you get aware, then you need to do something. I'll say this: I sat a VP of sales at this big company. We put their team through a process, and he came back to me and said, "I thought this was just for my team, and I started doing it." He
Hmm.
said, "Man, my life has changed." He said, "I've dropped 30 pounds." I said, "I'm not in the diet business, but I'm glad to hear that."
Yeah.
He just said he changed his diet and he started working. I said, "Coach, this is life changing. My wife has changed, said I've changed. My kids have said I've changed." And I said, "That's ultimately the goal." I said, "It's not," and he said, "And work is definitely benefited." He said, "So you realize this is not just for the leaders, the people's for the leaders too." That
Yeah.
they're taking it. So these are just the action part and then accountability. As you can see when I do my live workshops, I like having fun. I get folks fired up, and we do quite a few of those. And so the process of accountability is monthly virtual group coaching once a month. People have time to be doing this forever. We give strategies, personal commitments, and growth journals. We want folks to journal their activities, and then manage their conversations and peer encouragement. Like have a, just that's in our meetings, let's have a conversation about this. Now I know your structure is a little different because I don't think you have managers over each of these agents. But maybe in small groups they can create something. You know what I mean? This is just something that could be a
Yeah.
possible.
We have
Yeah.
different offices in different locations and they each
Yeah.
have a team lead. So
Okay. Yeah.
who's
That,
back?
that yeah. That could be the partial. And we would work with them just to help them to learn how to facilitate the process. It's
Yeah.
pretty easy. So organizations when employees stay connected to the process, not just the program. The
Hmm.
process is what gets you there. So we do it through motivation. I'll tell you, if you ever sat in any of my workshops, I think I sent you some videos. We get folks fired up.
Hmm.
They really, and there's a reason why that's part of the strategy. It's not
Yeah.
just getting motivated for the sake of motivation, but it's motivation for the sake of getting them to own it. You know what I mean? And typically that's done virtually. Then we do training. We train on these different aspects. To be myself, I got other people that can come in and do some training on nutrition, things like that. And then the key part is coaching. Now I say
Hmm.
they're monthly one-on-one, but it's primarily group. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Growth coaching. Because with larger organizations, it's hard. Now, there's some people that do want one-on-one. And so we've done that too within the organization. Hey, I would like to do this one-on-one. So we have
Hmm.
that as well. So that's kind of how we deliver it. And then the people invest in it, you know, we ain't talking $100 million. This is very inexpensive, because in particular when you have a number of people, if we do it per person, it's just a few dollars per person. It's just not going to cost. It's not going to break the banks, you know.
Yeah.
But we want strong people, we want strong teams, and we want strong organizations. And
Yeah.
and all the research is pointing, Megan, towards this is what's important. And so,
Hmm.
what am I saying in a nutshell? It's more than wellness. It's inspirational. It's leadership. It's
Hmm.
self-care, motivation. It's coaching and challenges. We do some challenges, some fun challenges, and all of that. And then lastly, when self-care becomes part of an organization's DNA, wellness stops becoming an initiative. This is really important. It becomes a way of life. And so this is
Hmm.
what I always say. Like for me, I live this space, and my family lives it. We've been really good at it. I said it goes from what we do to who we are.
Yeah.
This is who we are. So let me shut
Yeah.
this
I love
down because I
that.
don't want to sound like I'm doing a sales pitch. I just want you to see a little bit
No, no,
about
no.
what
Yeah.
this is all about and then give you an idea. We just become part of your team. Like if let's say if your organization is interested, we work it all out. I work with you to help build this out. We become part of your team, almost like
Yeah.
a almost like a fraction. Like
Yeah.
I'm not just here as Coach D and his company. I'm really part of the Larosa family, the team,
Hmm.
and we do it the way you want it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll even do a La Rosa logo shirt if you want me to over there.
Awesome.
I would do it for you. Because I don't want to seem like an outsider. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I want to seem like someone that's part of the family. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? That cares about it. So that's what it is. We customize it. Each one of the groups we work with, it's their program. It's
Yeah.
theirs. It's not just some cookie cutter we bring in. We customize it. So I just want you to see that. Any questions? Like, did that make sense to you? Like, was it?
Yeah, no, it all made sense. I don't really have any questions right now. I mean, we do so many things. We do so many events, so many workshops, like
Yep.
constantly,
Yep.
constantly doing things. So there's so many ways that we can collaborate
Yes. Yes.
and work together and then see what we can do.
Okay.
I would just
Okay.
appreciate like having everything kind of sent over to me so I can
Yes.
look at it with like my team and
Yes.
my
Mhm.
higher ups and just see like
Yes.
where we can get you where we
Yeah.
can collaborate the best and then hopefully get on a call with them as well and so they can ask
Okay.
questions. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean
Yeah.
everything looks great and I totally agree with you. I think it is so important like when
Mm.
the employees when they're all in a good mental health space, good lifestyle, prioritizing that, they
Yeah.
perform better, they're happier. So
Yep.
anything
Yep.
that we can do to do that for them, I'm on
Yeah.
board with.
I
So,
love I love that. And I feel like I'm talking to the future president of the company. We're in the
oh,
family. So, we've been doing some work together
thank
for a
you.
long we've been doing some work together for a long time. So I
Yeah.
remember 10 years ago when she was working in marketing, now she's running the whole show.
Yeah.
But but yes, thank you. So what I'll do, two things. Number one, I'll send over this video so you'll have that so we can have this conversation. You can show that if you'd like. Then also I'll send over this PowerPoint so you can see what the framework looks like. But then I'll send over what's called a concept paper. It won't be any cost in there because I want to work
Mhm.
with you on that because I don't want anybody to feel like, oh, it's this or that. We customize it,
Yeah.
we understand it. Like I said, and we're talking about maybe per person. It's going to be we're talking
Yeah.
nothing when you talk about a large group. And then, in there, we'll talk about what the framework would look like. And again, I'm a part of your team. You know what I mean? It's like, so I start what's called a concept paper. So I'll send the
Hmm.
concept paper along with the PowerPoint slide, along with this video. And then let's just keep having the conversation and see where we go from there. No rush. Take your
Yeah.
time. I know you got a million things on your plate, but I would love to work with you. I would,
Yeah.
because I love real estate agents. I think that they're out there. They're doing it. I got a lot of friends that's in the
Yeah.
space. That's a lot of work. It's a lot of energy. It's a lot of. And so a healthy agent, man, there's no limit to
Yeah.
what they can accomplish. There's no limit. So, yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So no questions. Could you give me to like maybe mid next week? I'll have everything to you.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm running up here to spend some time with some good friends, and I'm just gonna hang out with
Yeah.
them,
Yeah. Totally.
do our
Totally
thing.
enjoy.
So I'll get it to you, and then let's keep the conversation going. That's the big thing, and
Yeah.
see where we can go. All
Okay.
right.
Sounds
You know,
good. Enjoy.
thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of
Thank you.
course.
Take care now. All right.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.